People didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or throw their phones across the room. 2 photos, that's all it took. One of her on her hands and knees, looking directly at the camera. Playful, powerful, problematic. And then another. A pet collar with the album title stamped on it like a designer tag. Classy or cringe? That was the question. The caption? Simple. My new album, Man's Best Friend, is out August 29th. Can't wait for it to be yours. Pre-order now. But the reactions? Oh, they were instant and messy. Some fans were gagging in the best way. Like, yes, queen, drag men, bark if you have to. Others were like, girl, what are we doing here? This feels like it belongs in a 1950s ad for kitchen appliances. And then came the hot takes in the comment sections. In my opinion, people are overreacting and too sensitive. It is satire. Good satire should be pretty apparent. If that's her intention, it's clearly not coming across very well. I think it's weird how hard women are trying to police other women. The women calling it out for not being feminist are really the ones who come off anti-woman to me honestly. Lamau, you could never make me hate her. TikTok started flying, Twitter threads unraveled. People were pulling quotes, dissecting the visuals, and basically trying to decide if Sabrina was a genius or had completely missed the mark. But here's the kicker, this all happened less than 24 hours after the short and sweet high. Like, slow down, Miss Carpenter. We're still healing from espresso. And the thing is, she knew this would cause a stir. In her newsletter, she even said this album came out of nowhere. She didn't plan to make another record so soon. But inspiration struck. And once she got going, it flowed like second nature. This one felt like riding a bike, she said. It came together effortlessly. So yeah, this wasn't a messy marketing accident. It was intentional. She leaned in. She knew it would get attention. And boy, did it work. People weren't just mad because it was sexual or shocking. They were mad because it felt off-brand. Like, wasn't Sabrina just in her pink girl boss slay era? Now she's barking like a poodle? Some were calling it degrading, saying she's playing into the exact stereotypes her songs are supposed to call out. Others, though, clapped back hard, saying it's satire, that the whole point is to highlight how ridiculous men can be, how they treat women like accessories or pets. And Sabrina, she's just turning the mirror back on them. So, is this album cover a feminist wink or a PR whoopsie? Well, before we answer that, you need to hear what she said in that Rolling Stone interview, because she spilled tea that might just explain the entire chaotic rollout. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear it. Just when the internet was ready to cancel her, dissect her, or defend her to the death, Sabrina clapped back without clapping at all, because the very next day, Rolling Stone dropped their cover story on her, and honestly, it low-key explained everything. This wasn't just a fluffy, here's my skincare routine kind of interview. Sabrina got real. About the album, about being misunderstood, about how she literally weaponizes humor to say the things she's not allowed to say outright. According to the article, Sabrina is deeply self-aware, especially when it comes to her sarcasm. She admitted that ever since she was a teenager, she's used humor to soften the blow of harsh truths. Translation? If she's dragging men through the mud in a song like Man-Child, she's probably doing it with a wink, a smirk, and a killer punchline. Here's how she put it. Anytime I didn't really want to be nice and please people, I could use sarcasm. That way, I didn't come across as rude or hard to work with. Boom. Read between the lines. Sabrina doesn't say things the normal way. She jokes, she mocks, she performs. So, if her album cover looks submissive, ironic, or even degrading, it might not be an accident. It might be a setup for the exact thing she's about to destroy in the songs. And that Rolling Stone interview makes that even clearer. She flat out said, "There isn't an evil bone in me, but when I'm having a bad day, the jokes make it less heavy." That's her coping mechanism. And it bleeds into her lyrics, her visuals, her whole brand. Because when Sabrina's hurt, she doesn't cry on camera. She drops a sarcastic lyric, a shocking album cover, and watches the chaos unfold. Oh, and can we talk about how she addressed the way women in music get picked apart constantly? She told Rolling Stone she truly feels like she's living in the most critical era ever for female artists. And get this, She said all of that before the backlash even started over her album art, so imagine how validated she must feel now, watching people lose their minds over one image. She basically said, "Don't demand sweet innocence from me when y'all are the ones thirsting over the cheeky songs." And she's not wrong. Her fans love the sass, the shade, the savage energy. But the minute she leans into it visually, suddenly it's too much. So maybe Man's Best Friend isn't about being submissive at all. Maybe it's about exposing how society still sees women, sexy, small, silent, and using that exact image to flip the script. But it gets deeper because a major collaborator just stepped in and spilled a ton of behind-the-scenes tea. Let's talk about Jack Antonoff, aka the producer behind Manchild and the man who called this Sabrina's most honest work yet. If you know, you know. Jack is the go-to guy for emotionally intelligent pop. Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, Lorde. He's produced heartbreak anthems for all of them. So, when he says something is special, believe it. And according to Jack, Manchild wasn't just a song, it was the birth of a whole new era. He told Rolling Stone that once they finished Manchild and 2 other tracks right before New Year's, the entire album's identity snapped into focus. When I heard those 3, that was the moment. I was like, oh my god, you could see the whole record from there. And what did he say the album was really about? Disappointment. He described it as a celebration of those who let you down. Imagine flipping your relationship trauma into a whole celebratory album. That's not heartbreak. That's artful revenge. And suddenly, that cover image, her on her hands and knees, starts making a bit more sense. Because maybe it's not what it looks like. Maybe it's who it's about. Maybe that visual is exactly how she felt in those relationships. Dragged around, underestimated, turned into something she's not. This album is her putting a leash on the narrative and yanking it back. And then there's the lead single itself, Manchild. With a title that blunt, Sabrina wasn't exactly going for subtle. It's not just a diss track, it's a statement. She's been calling men out since because I liked a boy. But now she's not just reflecting on the pain. She's mocking the entire archetype of the man who thinks he's grown, but still acts like he's 12. And the fact that this came together so effortlessly, that says everything. Sabrina even said that this album flowed like a bike ride, easy, smooth, and natural. No headbanging, no overthinking, just truth wrapped in sarcasm. This wasn't manufactured, it was lived. And as the pieces fall into place, the title, the visuals, the lyrics, the controversy, you realize she's not trolling just for rage bait. She's confronting exactly the things she's been criticized for, by turning them into pop gold. But of course, not everyone sees it that way. Some critics are still crying, "Too far," while fans are screaming, "Queen of irony." So who's right? Is it empowering or degrading? Satire or submission? While Sabrina may not be keeping it short and sweet anymore, her bold new era is generating the kind of attention that fuels both controversy and curiosity. The polarizing album cover hasn't slowed her momentum. It's only deepened the speculation about what's really behind the music. She's not just dropping a record, she's flipping the script, using satire, sarcasm, and shock to challenge how women are perceived in pop culture. Love it or hate it, Sabrina is switching it up like Nintendo. And whether you're drawn by the drama or the music, one thing's clear. She's not asking for approval. She's making sure you can't look away.
Thanks for watching your daily dose of Gossip Cam. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the comments.